Hello everyone, welcome to today's build with AI Automation Elite and our community. Today we are going to start working through the starter builds. If you're part of my community, you would find this in Classroom and then over here in N8N and starter builds, getting started. If you're not part of my community, the link will be in the description if you like, but all of the information will be provided, and so you should have no problem getting started with this. Now, this is a Telegram assistant agent, and in reality, itself you may or may not use. The skills for it, however, massively useful. And Telegram, which we're going to use today along with OpenAI, Airtable, are really useful. Telegram has the best connection for building bots probably ever. I use it a ton, yet I don't actually message anyone. I use it just for my own bots. So today we're going to go ahead and get started. This is what we're going to build, and let's kick it off. Now we do need a couple of fundamental things first. You do need to have a Telegram account, so if you don't have one, set it up. You'll need some form of AI model. Okay? We're going to use ChatGPT today, but you can use any that are available. We're going to use N8N, and we're going to use Airtable. Now you can switch out Airtable with Sheets or Notion, whatever you like. We use Airtable a lot, so we're going to use that. So let's start with what we want. So if we look at this right here, we have the instructions and the prompt. Okay? Understand the user's text input and automatically extract and organize information stored in Airtable. Provide the current date. So this is what our current date is going to look like. We're going to take the prompt, and we see right here, you're a personal notes assistant. That's what we're going to build. And so here's the prompt. Now we want to build a Airtable real quick that has date, category, time, content, and tags so that we can store this. Also, as part of my community, you can come down here. Here are the docs. Here's the link to setting up Telegram, although we're going to set it up today, so you won't have to worry about that, but that information is here as well. So let's get started. All right, great. Once you're logged into your Airtable, go to the workspace that you want, and we're just going to create a new one. And we're going to say build your own app. They're always very, very persistent about creating a new UI and that kind of thing. And I'm sure this would be really great, but we're going to close that so that we just have the table. Now, we're going to name this. I'm just going to call this Telegram Assistant, if I can spell, Agent. We're going to go with this kind of cool color here. Wow, they've really done a lot, and just very recently. Okay, now let's switch back over here and let's look at what we need. Oh, wrong one. So we need to have a date. It looks like, so in this case, date is our first and our unique table of some kind. Category, title, content, and tags. Okay, so let's come over here and edit the field. And I wonder how it's storing date. I forgot. But let's go ahead and make this date. And let's say date. All right, so now we have date. The next one that we need, I'm going to move this over here so I don't keep hitting it, is category, then title, and content. All right. Now, category, long text is fine, I think. But we don't really need that much space because it's just going to be one of a few. So let's go to single line. And then we have title and content. And again, we can just edit the field. We're going to say, oops, title. Now we want to change this to single line as well. Now content might be a little bit longer. So we're going to go ahead and make that a multi-long text. And let's go ahead and save rich text just in case we need it. And finally, tags. And so let's rename this one. Tags. We're going to make this, yeah, I think We'll make it long text. I don't think we need that much space, but we'll go ahead and make it that as well. We're good. And then let's go ahead and, where did they move it to? Insert, show dependency. Oh, had to scroll down farther. Okay, so there are our inputs. So if we put something here, now this date is going to be added by the LLM. So, but we can imagine we have a date, whatever the category. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now what we have to do is we're going to have to grant permission for N8N to use this. So let's go ahead and go over to our N8N and let's get logged in here. And we're going to just go ahead and start a new workflow. And the first thing that we're going to do, so we're going to grant that permission here in a minute, but if we look at our diagram, let's go back up here. So we need a telegram trigger. So let's go ahead and start with the telegram trigger, and we're going to just walk through the entire setup. So we're going to say telegram. Oops, there we go. I'm on multiple screens, and so, okay, telegram. Now we have these choices, right? And you can look at the different ones, but we want it to be on message. Right? When it gets a message, comes in, that's what we want to use as our trigger. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just close that now. Let's rename this. We're going to call this Telegram Community Agent, just so that I know. And then we also need to set up a credential. And if you don't have a credential for that, if we come back over here, notice we have the connect credentials. Now I have other credentials, but we're going to create a new one. So we come over here and we can do it from here, but I don't like to, because although the open docs is good, let's go ahead and open those while we're here, but it's very easy to change the doc that you're currently in. So what I prefer is to come over here and go to just your page. Up in the top you have create a credential, and here we can do Telegram, and we'll get a brand new instance of our credential. So here's our docs, and if we come to our docs, it will tell us we don't need that. So you can use these to authenticate these two, create a Telegram here, refer to the bot API if you have any questions on that. Here's the features. But what we need to do is come right down here to start a chat with BotFather. So, and then it tells us enter new bot. So let's go to BotFather, and we're going to say start. Here, I want to go ahead and open this in the web. There we go. And you can find BotFather either by clicking that and it will open it up temporarily, but I want to be able to show the entire thing, or you can search for BotFather. Now notice there's all kinds of suspicious, very suspicious clones down here. I wouldn't even click on one because they worry me. The one you want is BotFather, the little icon here with the blue purple check mark and millions of users. Okay, so make sure that you have the right one. It's really important that you don't create a bot in somewhere suspicious. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do, if we go back to our instructions, is say new bot. And if you've never done anything with Telegram before, you won't have obviously all this past stuff, which is okay, but you'd still put in new bot. Now, first we need to look at our options. Read these instructions because they are important. All right, a new bot. How are we going to call it? Please choose a name for your bot. We're just going to call this Assist Agent. Maybe that's available. All right, so we're going to send that. Good. Now let's choose a username for your bot. It must end in bot. Okay, so we're going to try the same name, and we called that what did we call it? Assist dash agent dash bot. Let's see if we can get that one. Okay, I think it's because we're using let's try it this way, assist, and I should have done that above, but it's okay. Let's see if that works. All right, not that one. Let's see here. Done. Oh, okay. So it took it a moment. All right, done. Congratulations on your new bot. Here's where we will find the link to it. We'll grab that in a minute. You can add more information here. But what we need is this token. Now, don't worry, this token will be deleted, so it will be useless if anyone tries to copy it. It's super easy to get your own, so don't worry about that. But here is our token for the API, and if we go back to N8N, all we have to do is put in our token, give that a minute, and here we're going to rename. What did I call it? I can't remember. Agent, and I'm just going to put test here so it's easy for me to remember. Now, sometimes, for whatever reason, my N8N doesn't connect until I save it. Okay, so this time it did. Connection successful. So we are ready to go. Now let's go back over here to our new, where is it at? Here it is. Let's go ahead and execute the workflow. We want this to be in listening mode. And if we come over here, and now we can click on the link that will allow us to chat with our bot. Let's go ahead and say start. So now we sent start twice. I'm running a lot of hardware between Google Meet and the screen share and everything, so it's going a little slower. Plus I have only about 4,000 tabs open. So, and if we come back to our Telegram assistant and we click on it, okay, we're listening. I made this mistake. Let's stop the listening. I forgot to change it here. So let's go to Teleassistant test, and now let's go ahead and execute the step again. And now it connected, and we can see the username, the date, type, text. There it is. Okay, so that's our slash start, which is what we have here. So if we want to add a new one, hello world, execute the step so that it will grab it. And again, so here is our new one, and there's our text, hello world. So it is working. Now the next thing we want to do is go ahead and create an agent. Let's go ahead and hit the plus sign, and we're going to say agent, AI agent right here. And now we have an agent that is connected. And when we look at it, of course, it's red. We've got errors because we don't have an actual agent. We don't have any tools or anything else. So let's connect an agent first. I'm going to use OpenAI. If you don't have an OpenAI account, or whichever account you do have, you can set up the credentials in exactly the same way. Go to credentials, type in the name, connect it, and just follow whatever the instructions are. N8N gives great documentation for setting up credentials. We can do what? Now let's go ahead and look at our memory. We may need simple memory, so let's go ahead and add it in. Now here is one of the things that's important when we're thinking about simple memory. The default is JSON session ID, and this is made for the chat interface here in N8N. And so we need to define it below. And notice it's empty. And what we really want is our message chat ID. We can see our from here, right? We have these different ones. And if we, well, let's do it this way. There's our search. Let's go to chat. And if we type in chat, we get chat ID. So we'll move this over to here. Make sure it's in expression mode. JSON, message, chat. Oops, and I grabbed the wrong one, guys. Let's just remove this. I mean, I could have added ID, but we want this one. Great, and we notice that our number matches. Great. Now let's go back over, and we can test this. We can send a message, test AI. Holy moly. Let's execute the workflow. And we have this problem. Let's see what our problem is. No prompt specified. And so we're going to work on this now, because this is the chat input, which is also what we already have if we're using the chat function, but we need to put in our own prompt. And if we look at that prompt, so what we need to do now is change this again. Remember, this is the default for the chat function. We want to say define below, and here's going to be our prompt, and I'll give you the prompt here in just a second. What we want is the text, right? So this is what's coming from Telegram. We want this text. So first, let's drag that up here. The next thing we want to do is give it a system prompt. So if we click this add option, we have this system message. And let's run over here to our Telegram, and we're just going to grab entire prompt right here. Let's copy that, and we're just going to paste this here. Now we can test this and see what we get by executing. So we see that we had a chat, and simple memory, and our response, right? And so let's go ahead and close this. So that's working as we want. Now let's go ahead and set our execute, our workflow. Let's try it one more time and say, I have a 10 a.m. appointment with Samantha to discuss web opportunities. Now you can use this for about anything that you want. Of course, today we're talking about an assistant. So if we come back over here and we look, now we have this output. Successfully saved your note. Date, category, all of this information here. And so what we want to do now is go ahead and add our Airtable. So if we look at our Airtable, what do we want to do? Well, we have a couple of options, right? We could update, that kind of thing. We want to create a record. So our resource, and we want to create, so let's click on this. Now we have to choose our Airtable. Notice we do not have the current Airtable that we have built over here. So what we have to do is, and looks like they've moved it on us, so let's see here. We need to go to Builders Hub. We need a personal access token. If you haven't set it up before, you'd create a new token, go to credentials, go to Airtable, follow the instructions the same way. But in this case, I already have one for N8N. And what I want to do is add a base. So I'll just click add a base. And what did we call it? Telegram something, I think. There it is. Right. So now we're going to save the changes. Let's go back to our table. Okay, so there's our Telegram assistant. So we have all our pieces. Let's go back to our N8N. And what we want to do is, let's just grab this. Let's save. Remember, N8N doesn't auto-save, so keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and choose from our list. And now we have Telegram assistant. And what do we want out of it? Well, we only have a table. That's all we have. Now it automatically populated our information for us. Right? These are the fields: date, category, etc. But what we have to do is, let's save it one more time. And now let's click on it. So date. We want this to be an expression. And the date, what we get from our AI response. But in this case, we can click this little handy dandy starburst button here, and we say define automatically by the model. And we can do that on each one. So as long as you had good naming convention, things like date is date, category is category, right? That's why we went with that. Now we can add a description in here. We could say the date of, we could say, the category of the event, for instance. Now we'll leave these others so you can see that you don't have to do that. But if they're closely paired to something else, or something is not very clear in the naming, then you may want to do that. Now if we execute this step, we would have to fill this in, right? We don't want to do that right now, so let's come back over here. Let's save it one more time. Now let's go ahead and execute. Go back to Telegram, our teleassistant. Come up here, we can see our agent was thinking. It was very quick. If we come back, let's go to here, and we have the date, the categories work, title is 10 a.m. appointment with Samantha, content, this is exactly what we have, and it tagged. So this is outstanding, right? This is great for us to be able to very quickly add. Now, Where can you go with? Well, you could also add in a calendar tool, and if it's not already on your calendar, then you could also have it add it to the calendar and create the record. You can do anything your heart content. Now notice these tools are slightly different than if you come up here and click this plus sign. So this plus sign, these are everything. These are everything related to agent tools. Okay, so there's a slight difference. Kind of keep that in mind. But all the good stuff like calendar, anything that you need is almost available here. Now, you can also, if you have the community edition, you can set up community edition and you can find nodes for specific things outside of the N8N. Be careful with those, as well as MCPs. You can also do that with MCPs. All right, so we're going to finish this up. We're going to come right here to our plus sign, and here we want to do Telegram again because we want to get a response. Right, so if we come down here and we say send a message, where's it at? Send a text message right here. We have our output. This is what it sent, but we may want it to be a little more fun. If we wanted to, we could add another LLM to take and write us a really funny message. We're not going to do that today, but you could put that in directly. But what we want to do is say message, send a message. Now, what's really important is this chat ID. And we get this from Telegram, chat ID. So let's drag that up so that it knows which chat is incoming and therefore can respond to it. And then our text is just going to be, for now, our output. Now, we can come down here and look at add fields. We can append the attribution. I like to turn that off. But let's go ahead and execute the step, and we see a response here. If we go back to our Tell Assistant, well, we want to know if it updated. I can tell you, we got one up here. Notice here. So what does that tell you? I forgot to change our bot. Okay, so let's change our bot to Tell Assistant, and let's execute the step one more time. And now let's look at our Telegram. There it is. Actually, let's go to this one. And if we go to the Tell Assistant, here's our response. So now let's test it in totality. Okay. And so let's come back over here one more time. Let's close this. Let's save it. Let's make sure that it's in execution mode. And let's give it something that's a little more crazy. All right. I have... let's see. I have a dinner date at what time? At 7 p.m. And then, or actually, let's say I have dinner at 7 p.m. and that will be concerning the update to the new web app and a date for drinks at 9 p.m. Let's see, drinks at 9 p.m. at the Cool Saloon. And let's see what we get back from it. All right, so we've sent. We don't want to always have to run over and check our Telegram, right? But we need to know that it's running. It executed, so let's look at it. So notice it shows that there were two. Date here, category work, title dinner here, content, tags dinner, meeting, and web app. Also created date, right? And the content here, so this is date drinks at the Cool Saloon. And if we look at our Telegram, it made two inputs. It was able to distinguish and set that up so you can put a lot of information and let the AI handle it. All right, well, I will show this one more time. Today we built this Telegram trigger and response using OpenAI and Airtable as a personal assistant. I hope this helps everything in your steps. And as I said before, if you are a community member, you can come here and start the getting started with N8N. This is our first assignment. This video will be right here. Next we have the Gmail, which we'll do soon, followed by calendar. And notice this setup has multiple tools. So this has Telegram and a Google, but in this case, the trigger is different. So this is a reminder. So we're using a scheduled trigger that will update and send us a message, a reminder message, as well as update our calendar. So there are lots of projects here that are focused on helping you master N8N. And if you want to come and check us out, we'd be happy to have you. Otherwise, we do appreciate it. If you like this video, like and subscribe. The description will be in the links will be in the description as well as the prompt. Thank you. Have a great